Everyone in the city knew about the library. It was the kind of place you walked past 100 times, but never really saw. It just appeared one day, an ancient stone building squeezed between a trendy coffee shop and a sleek tech store. There was no sign, no listed owner, just a single, unsettling rule carved into the heavy oak door. Read carefully. Stories remember. Most people ignored it. It was just another urban oddity in a city full of them. But on a particularly weary, rain-soaked evening, Lena wasn't looking for a story. She was just looking for shelter. The rain was coming down in sheets, and the library door creaked open with a gentle push. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of old paper and something else. Something like dust and forgotten time. A man sat behind a massive wooden desk, his face hidden in the shadows of a small desk lamp. He didn't even look up as Lena dripped onto the floorboards. "Choose a book," he rasped, his voice a dry whisper. "But never ever finish it." Lena almost laughed. What kind of a rule was that? It sounded like a challenge, and she had never been one to back down from a challenge. Her fingers trailed over spines of leather and cloth, finally landing on a dusty, unassuming novel. The title was embossed in faded gold. The Girl Who Escaped the Fire. It felt warm to the touch, almost like it was humming with a life of its own. She took it to a worn armchair in the corner and opened it. The moment her eyes scanned the first sentence, the world tilted. The floor beneath her feet vanished. The scent of old paper was replaced by the acrid smell of smoke. Intense heat licked at her skin, and her lungs burned with every breath. She wasn't in a library anymore. She was running, stumbling through a blazing inferno. This wasn't just reading, it was living. The world of the book was all around her. The characters, their faces smudged with soot and fear, turned to look at her. They knew. They knew she wasn't one of them, a strange intruder in their desperate tale. With every chapter she devoured, the story pulled her deeper. She made choices, trying to help the girl escape the fire, but each decision had a consequence. Every page she turned seemed to rewrite the narrative not just in the book, but in her own mind. Her memories of the rainy street, her apartment, her own life, began to fade like smoke. The world of the book was becoming her only reality. She was so close to the end, just one chapter left. The girl was cornered, flames roaring on all sides. Lena could feel the heat, the panic. She knew what she had to do to save her. She just had to turn to the final page. But as her fingers trembled over the corner of the paper, the sky within the story darkened ominously. A cold whisper, not from any character, but from the book itself, slithered into her mind. "Finish me," it hissed. "Finish me. Then stay forever." A wave of pure terror crashed over her. The librarian's warning echoed in what was left of her memory. With a strangled cry, Lena slammed the book shut. Instantly, she was back. The worn armchair, the dusty air, the dim light. She was in the library, her body shaking uncontrollably. The book lay on her lap, cold and inert once more. Across the room, the librarian finally looked up. A slow, knowing smile spread across his face. "Good," he said, his voice no longer a whisper. "You remembered who you are?" Lena didn't wait for another word. She scrambled to her feet and fled, bursting out of the heavy oak door and back into the rain-swept night. She didn't look back, but she could feel the library fading behind her, dissolving back into the space between the shops as if it had never been there at all. She thought it was over. A terrifying dream, a hallucination brought on by the strange atmosphere of that place. But the next morning, as sunlight streamed into her bedroom, she saw it. Lying on her pillow, right where her head had been, was a brand new book. It was bound in simple dark leather. The title, embossed in stark white letters, was her own name, Lena. Her heart pounded in her chest as she picked it up with a trembling hand. She opened it to the first page. There was only one line written there. It read, "This time she didn't escape. What story do you think is written in Lena's book?" And what would you do if you found a library like that? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.